So most of the videos that I do are regarding working around our little ranch here, our little farm, just clearing brush and chainsaw videos and tractor, and you guys get to see me work so much that some of you might think that I don't ever have any fun. To me, most of the time work is fun. I really enjoy it. I really like being able to see the before and after, see the differences that I've made in things like getting briars out of trees, cutting grass, stuff like that. But today I actually am going to be having a little bit of fun. Today we're down here at the range. I've got a 100-yard range that runs across my property, and we're gonna be sighting in 2 rifles. I've changed the optics on one. The other rifle, I just finished building it, and it's going to be a night vision rifle, so I need to get the optics sighted in on it so that whenever I put the night vision behind it, everything's zeroed. For things like pigs and coyotes, nuisance animals that come out at night, one of the big problems with a pig sounder is that when you start hunting them during the daytime, it pushes them into this kind of nocturnal state. So I shot a pig 3 weeks ago, and we haven't seen a hint of a pig since. So they get really, really smart about their patterns, their eating, things like that. So I'm going to sight in 2 rifles and 2 optics. These are non-magnified optics that are simply a red dot. One of these rifles, I'll just bring you over here and show them to you. So the plan today is to go ahead and sight in the rifle that resides under my bed. This one's got a flashlight on it. That way whenever I wake up in the middle of the night, I can flick this light on. It's got 3 different settings as far as dimness goes, so that's nice. It's got an Aimpoint Pro Comp M4 on this, red dot with a kill flash on it. So this is new for this rifle, so I'm going to go ahead and sight that in at 50 yards. I've found that 50 yards zero on an AR is a really good range, because these rifles sighted in at 50 yards when I'm shooting a 62 grain round, it's almost the exact same zero at 200 yards because of the path that bullet travels. At 50 yards it's zeroed, and at 200 yards it is low by about 4/10 of an inch. So just a really, really close zero, 50 and 200, and because of the arc of that bullet, you've got a point of impact from 25 yards all the way out to 300 yards that only varies just a handful of inches. So really, really good zero range on an AR, especially something that's not magnified, with this red dot on there at 50 yards. This is the rifle that I was talking about. I just put this thing together. I built the lower. I'm going to go ahead and take the night vision optic off of this because I don't want the sun to burn a hole in that thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick this back in the bag. That's one of the downsides to putting night vision on these rifles is you've got to keep that night vision optic covered up, because you don't want, what happens is it burns like a solar flare across the lens of that optic. So we're going to go ahead and zero this one in again at 50 yards today, and then this is I've got it dedicated as a coyote specific rifle. This one's got a lot longer legs on it. I shot the pig 3 weeks ago with this one, and it's got a fixed buttstock, and it's actually got a powered scope. So it's got a magnified scope that goes all the way up to a 10 power. Really, really nice Vortex Viper. This is the PST, so this is a really nice optic. And this thing right here, it is an absolute tack driver. So the only reason I brought it out today is just to verify my zero on it. Probably won't take too many rounds to do that. This thing, at 200 yards, I had a group that was about the size of a nickel. So this thing is about a half MOA with me shooting it, and that's saying a lot because I'm a terrible shot. So we're going to verify the zero on that one. That's probably the one that I'm going to shoot first. And then I'm going to go ahead and zero this guy because it probably won't take much longer. This one's probably going to be the one that takes the longest one because it's brand new upper. I'm going to run a few rounds of some just cheap Winchester white box ammo through it. And then this isn't the best, highest quality ammo, but it is a 62 grain 223 round, which is what all of my hunting ammo is for these AR platform style rifles. I always shoot a 62 grain round, so I like to zero these and put it on paper with the 62 grain because it gives me a much more accurate zero with each rifle. And then whenever I get really serious about zeroing it in, I will get an actual magazine full of my hunting ammo, what I'm going to actually use, and zero it that way. Yeah, certainly not as accurate as my hunting ammo. Those groups are pretty big, but again, I'm a terrible shot, so none of that should surprise either one of us. All right. So now yeah, I'm gonna have to move in quite a bit closer for this. Close enough to be on paper. Let's go 5 shots. Normally, with a big rifle, I would do a 3-shot zero, just because at 3 shots you really start anticipating the recoil and you start pulling the shot. With an AR though, it's not a very big round, it's not a big gun, it's kind of girly, if you ask me, but we're going to keep the groups small enough that I can get a feeling for where I'm at. So we're going to go on the left-hand target with this one and see how close we are to the middle. I'm going to go with the bottom right green dot only because I can see it. It helps take the safety off. Oh, helps to load around. Got too much stuff going on. I'm worried about those cameras and everything else. All right. Bottom right green dot on the far left target. Alright, let's go check that group out. Now that is a great grouping. I was aiming right here, and at 100 yards, no magnification, went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know in what order this one was, but I went right down the center line. So we need to come left 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. I'll be happy with that group, 4 inches to the left. One of the things that I really like about this guy right here is how lightweight the barrel and the handguard is. It's a very thin handguard. This is something that my wife can pick up and shoot really, really easily. It's got a minimal buttstock. It's got nothing on it. We could put a sling and this simple little red dot scope on it, and my wife could hit stuff from 100 yards away, and she is not a gun person. She's not a firearms expert or a marksman or anything like that. But this is a rifle that one of the reasons why they give it to the military is because it's so easy and intuitive to just pick it up and shoot it easily. It doesn't fire a very big round, so the recoil is very, very minimal. So you don't hardly feel anything, and most of the recoil from this style of rifle is absorbed in the rechambering of another round. So they use all of the recoil that you would normally feel on like a bolt action or a single shot rifle. All that felt recoil is pushed into a spring that loads the next round. So really, really easy, intuitive firearm to use. Magazine release, safety, the sights, just the sight picture, everything is really, really easy to use on this rifle. And this, like I said, is even more lightweight and a smaller platform than typical. So like I said, my wife can pick this up and use this really easily. So it's going to have night vision on it normally. It's also going to have an infrared illuminator. The pigs are normally about 200 yards from our back porch, so I'll try to get close to them with the night vision, but the night vision, a good illuminator, I should still be able to hit those pigs at 200 yards with this rifle. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a few rounds down range. We're not even going to try to zero it for these first few shots, and then once we start getting on target, then we'll see what see if we can't get it really zeroed in with just this non-magnified red dot sight. Hey, we're on target.